Hello, we're Katerina and Yusuf of Pseudopomp, speaking to you from 23rd October 2024. We're a new alternative music act. We've just released our first single this summer, but we've lived together and collaborated musically for some years before this project.
I'm Greek and Katerina is Bulgarian, although we've lived in London for some time now.
Both our home countries have significant folklore traditions around music, vocals, instrumentals, distinct rhythms. We've been quite piecemeal and subtle about how we bring those influences into our own music, but they're definitely there. There's a cathartic middle section in our third single, Love Me Away, which is scheduled for later this year, which is very reminiscent of the wailing, overlapping Eastern European vocalization, which you could encounter in traditional choirs.
Well, at first listen, you're much more likely to recognize Western influences like the 90s grunge scene or the Beatles, both of which we're partial to. I think the Beatles inspired our love for melody because we do tend to harmonize a lot, and some experimentation in our approach to our sound and structure of the songs. On the other hand, the 90s grunge scene has informed a lot of what we think is cool in terms of aesthetics and guitar and vocal tones, possibly production too.
We're working on multiple fronts at the moment. Firstly, we're focusing on putting out our second and third singles, Only Just and Love Me Away, which we recorded early in the year. We're trying to do this as professionally and memorably as we can, with the pomp, marketing, and visuals that they need to reach their audience.
At the same time, we're rehearsing with a drummer and a bassist because we want to bring our studio sound to a live setting. Obviously, we can't clone ourselves. And we've loved the intimacy of writing and recording everything. I mean, between the two of us, but we're hugely excited to play live as a full band, so we're looking to get rid of all the constraints of a stripped-back arrangement.
And we're prepping for our next round of recording in December so that we can do everything all again next year. We're treating each phase of recording as its own little chapter, so this next batch of songs will differ significantly, while hopefully building on Pseudopomp's fledgling musical identity.
Although we consider ourselves somewhat post-genre, most casual audiences would read us probably as rock, and patience with that genre has been wearing thin for a number of years. I don't know, maybe because of the substantial costs and difficulties involved in properly recording and setting up for live performances, maybe. I mean, it's pricey to make the type of music we want to make, and once that music is ready to be marketed, we're competing with a great deal of other creators, many of whom do not even have the same production and time burdens as us. It seems that audience attention spans are getting shorter than ever, and it's important, I think, to be releasing content every once in a while. We're trying to lean into this rhythm, but it's not necessarily the easiest fit with either our personal style or the type of music we make. Obviously, we'd love to spend months and months lovingly designing and recording a concept album and not posting anything on social media until everything is finished. But, we're trying to behave ourselves and just play the game.
In terms of advice I'd give to my younger self, I'd say stop waiting around for somebody to give you permission to do the things you want to do. Just start doing them. I spent far too many of my formative years just staring at the clock, waiting for adulthood to hit so I could be emancipated from the expectations of others. Now I think that those never truly go away until you start making the choice to stand up to them consistently every day. So you may as well start carving your niche as soon as you can. Experiment freely until you find the things that really bring you joy.
All of our current songs began their lives as a riff or a melodic little squiggle on the guitar, which was then prodded and reworked in various jam sessions between Katerina and myself. And gradually chords and structures and melodies became standardized, so I think that's how we do it.
Lyrics have tended to come right at the end, once we've bonded with the song and it's started to mean something to us and feel a certain way. Until recently, we've kept all parts between ourselves, but we're now adding a bassist and a drummer in the mix, who no doubt will start to add their own personalities and tastes into the mix. So we're very excited for that transition.
In terms of best reaction that someone's had to our music, recently we heard that the breakdown in our upcoming single, Only Just, actually brought someone to tears. That's not to say that it's a sad song, but that section is supposed to be a bit of an emotional punch, epiphany of some sort, so we're glad early listeners are responding to it.
We hope to induce some sort of catharsis, some sort of swell of emotion, maybe a little bit of laughter at the occasional absurdity of our lyrics. I like to make songs that build in intensity gradually and then peak towards a kind of epiphany. So yeah, therapy via music is the optimal goal. It's for sure a crowded space for musicians right now, and many people are saying that everything's been done before. But if we can introduce something that's sonically novel and interesting, even in a really tiny way, we'll be very pleased with ourselves. If not, we'll settle for imposing our preferred musical aesthetics on as many people as we can reach.
Our second single, Only Just, is scheduled to be released this Friday, the 25th of October. Actually, that's 2 days from today. And then the video for that same song will follow hopefully a couple of weeks later.
In the meantime, do follow us on Instagram at pseudopomp band, and please go check out our first single, 20 Free, and Only Just when it comes out.